What's up, YouTube? Do you feel lucky here? And it's that time again. We're gonna go over the Sinnoh Alolan Pokemon that I want in Sun and Moon. I know we've already gone over Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn. Obviously, I'm going in order. But if you haven't checked those out, go check them out. I might link them down below in the description. But I think I got some really awesome Pokemon. But today we're going over Sinnoh. And once again, Pokemon always seems to one-up themselves. Actually, to be honest with you, Sinnoh was easier, but there wasn't. It wasn't easy because there weren't, all this easy. It's easy because there's a lot of Pokemon that I wanted to have Alolan forms for certain reasons and whatnot, but there were a lot of them, and I have a lot more honorable mentions in this episode than I have in previous episodes. So I just started looking. I was like, oh, this one, and then I had to figure out, okay, which ones do I want in my top 5 Pokemon for Sinnoh for Alolan forms, and go from there. But without further ado, let's jump on into this, and we're gonna go start off strong. We're gonna go with the one that I think everybody will agree with. I mean, everybody definitely wants this, and it's Luxray. Luxray is just a Pokemon that needs some love, and I think an Alolan Luxray and giving it the goddamn Dark type is perfect. I think that's all Luxray needs, and I know it's very basic, but the Electric Dark type Luxray, perfect. I'm in. I want it. Give it to me. I mean, you could probably do. I don't know if. You could probably do. I don't know if you could do Luxio, but you could do. Is it? Wait, no. Shinx is the beginning. You could do Luxio and then probably not Shinx for the. So it'd be the evolution line, but at least Electric Dark Luxray. I would be so happy. It would be perfect. It makes so much more sense. It gives it so many more stab moves. I don't really know the justification. I guess you could kind of do like the Dark type and kind of going with like the Moon. Maybe if Alolan forms have like version exclusives, you could have kind of like a Alolan. You could have Sun Mons and Moon Mons, and then obviously Luxray would be in Moon just because it's like a dark, Dark type, Dark Moon, nighttime kind of thing. Like that would, I guess that kind of makes sense. I could see that being justified. And just real quick, FYI, I'm over to the screen a little bit more just so you have more room so I can put the Pokemon here, wherever it may be. I don't know, it's probably going to be hovering around the hand. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I may have just done something stupid. But either way, I think Luxray, I had to start off with Luxray. I mean, I think it's the one everybody will probably agree with, be like, yes, please give us Electric Dark type. Or even, I mean, yeah, I think it's even pure Dark, but I think the Electric type, I think Electric Dark is kind of just something he's always needed. And that's what I really want. Now, the next rest of the list, there's a lot of stuff to kind of go over. The next one I did was Chatot. I've written as Chatot. Chatot is a Pokemon that definitely does need some love. It's a really awesome Pokemon, but it's one that it's not very used very much. I know, you remember. I remember Chatot most of the time, but it's like I've never used a Chatot. Would I use one? Probably if I had an option to. Maybe, I don't know, if I was in a Let's Play or something. Maybe, but. And something special, but I was kind of thinking, I'm like, yeah, I want to do Chatot. Like, Chatot was one of the Mons, and Chatot and the next one are two of the Pokemon that I wanted on this list for sure. I just couldn't figure out what you would kind of do, and I don't know. I thought of something kind of unique, and I don't know why this kind of made sense to me, but it was a normal Ghost type. And I know it's a typing that's never been done, but making him normal Ghost, so it's kind of like you can keep like Uproar and like all of his sound moves and be Stab still, and then also add the Ghost type, which just makes it kind of uniquely. It's almost like a Ghost Bird, or which we do actually. I guess we kind of already have that with the oh man, I gotta remember the 7th Gen Mon names, but it's just the bird that has the forward form. So, but it'd be but normal, which I guess that's a Ghost flying, I believe. But so this would be normal Ghost. I guess it's like a Ghost Bird. I mean, it's like a Ghost and a normal type. It has almost like it screams, or like the sound, like it's kind of something that's never. Can't think of a Ghost Pokemon that's been like sound based, but Chatot is like make it like a sound based Ghost type, and I think it kind of makes sense. And I don't know how you. I mean, that's one of those things. Like I don't know how you. I mean, you could easily anywhere with that. Like there's a haunted place in Alola, and then the Chatot have died here. Whatever you want to do it. But the Pokédex has some creepy-ass entries, and you could easily do it as why the Alolan form Chatot, like the many Chatot. There was a mass extinction event for Chatot here, and they've all come back and haunted this area of Alola with their cries and their deadly cries. Whatever you want to do, like it'd be interesting. I could see that being done, and I think it would just be such a unique type, and I think it would just make it so much more viable too on that. It'd be awesome. I mean, there's so many normal flying types. I mean, how many you could name? you just got tons of them everywhere. Every generation added a normal flying type, but a good normal ghost type, no, you don't see that. I think that'd be kind of cool. That's just my opinion. So I think I think Chatot is another one that is really cool for Sinnoh. Now moving on from Chatot to the next one, the next Pokemon is Lumineon, and Lumineon is another Sinnoh Pokemon, another 4th gen Pokemon that just needs some love, and it just doesn't have it. And you know, we obviously Alola is going to have a lot of water types. It's going to be a lot of kind of water type Pokemon. So you're on islands, you're in the middle of the ocean, like it's there, it's part of the environment. But I thought about taking away the water typing from Lumineon, and you know, Lumineon's name kind of screams to me illuminate, like light. So I was thinking electric, so make it electric type. So making it electric type with levitate. Yeah, that's something I've never really done, is given an ability to a Pokemon and give Lumineon the electric type and almost have it levitate and like so it's like almost like a flying fish, but it's electric type, so it's like it gravitates. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, the electric type and the levitate makes sense. It's been done before, but I think it'd be kind of cool. I don't really know the justification for it. Didn't really think that far through with that one, but I just thought it made sense, and I think it'd be kind of cool. I mean, what justification does Raichu have for being a psychic type? It's a good idea, good question. Like really, it's just kind of one of those random things that here you go, kind of throw it, give it to it, and make it more viable, make it something different. Give it a little more love, and you can have stab and electric types. I mean, it's just kind of one of the ones. I kind of like doing a little bit of both, where certain Pokemon I make on these lists retain their typing and add a secondary typing or change one of their secondary typings, and then have ones that are completely changed typings, like it's a completely different thing. And I have a couple things on there, so you know, I like that. But I think Lumineon is just the Pokemon that needs from Sinnoh that just needs some love, and I would love to see it. You get a Alolan form just to change it. It's the perfect region. It's the perfect Pokemon for the region to get a different form. It looks like a tropical fish almost. So I think it makes sense. And I mean, not that you're keeping it water type, but I think giving it, turn it into electric type and levitate, making it this kind of floating fish that like floats around the islands, not in the water, but around the islands somewhere. Like it'd be so cool. It'd be random as hell, but I think it'd make sense. Now, the next one I'm going to go over is one that's another one, like it's adding a type to a Pokemon. And actually the next two Pokemon I have are kind of like, they're 4th gen Mons, they're Sinnoh Mons, they were added in 4th gen, but they have ties to other generations too, because 4th gen had a lot of those evolutions, but they're Pokemon that need some love. Now this one is Dusknoir. Now Dusclops, unfortunately, is more competitively viable than Dusknoir in competitive, like, so it's a more competitively viable Mon. So the pre-evolution with an Eviolite is more competitive than Dusknoir. Now I thought about Remedy, why they never did this. It made no sense to me. Is give Dusknoir the Dark type, so Ghost Dark, so make it a Ghost Dark type, and it would just make it so much stronger. And I don't ever understood why they didn't do that. And I think just that kind of goes with the same justification as Luxray. It's the moon thing. It's night. It's darkness. You give it the dark type. It's a ghost type. I mean, it makes sense. It's so easy to change. I mean, not that Dusknoir you could literally add, just like Luxray, you could add the dark type into it, and you wouldn't even have to change the design of the Pokemon, but you could make Dusknoir a darker Pokemon, take away the browns in it, and you almost give it like a black or something like that. And once again, I don't know what I'm doing ahead of time. I look up the Pokemon designs afterwards, after I make my list and do this, but I'm sure I will find something or make something like I do with Photoshop. I mean, not that I'm great, I make kind of funny things with Photoshop, but I think they're hilarious. But to kind of give you an example of what I'm talking about, so it's just, the Dusknoir is dark, so almost like a pure pitch black ghost Pokemon, which would be kind of cool. And just like I said, goes with kind of like the moon thing, the darkness, the nighttime. It makes so much sense to me. I think that makes perfect sense. I think just a Pokemon that needs some love that was added in. I love the design of Dusknoir. I love Dusknoir as a Pokemon. It's just not very good, unfortunately. Now just the Pokemon that I love that aren't very good. The 5th Pokemon, technically, the 5th Pokemon is 2 Pokemon on my list, and it is 2 separate Pokemon, but it's 2 that I've always seen kind of go together, and it's Electivire and Magmora. They're all the same thing as Dusknoir. There are evolutions added in 4th gen for Pokemon that were added in 1st gen. Now, once again, these Pokemon are evolutions, but they're not very competitively viable. For whatever reason, I don't know why. And I don't know if this would even help them, or I don't know how, and we don't know how Alolan forms are. If Alolan forms are going to change stats, if stats are going to change when you switch different things, are they going to have different stats? Like, I feel like the stats are gonna change because, like, especially because like a Pokemon like Executor, its true form, it's stronger, it has the Dragon type. Like, I feel like the stats are gonna be higher on Alolan Executor than regular Executor, or they're gonna be different. Like, it's gonna be a physical more than a special attack, or something like along those lines. Just like Magmortar and Electivire, if they change it. Now, my thought on that, why these two are in the, the last ones on my list, but they're in the same slot, is you're gonna switch their type-ins. So Electivire becomes a fire type, and Magmortar becomes an electric type. And I don't know how you want to justify it. Like, it's because they've always had this rivalry together. Like, their rivalry has somehow imbued the types, and like they changed. They fought each other so much that they developed the other type into compete against the other one, but then ironically it just switched back. It's something like that. I mean, that'd be a very simple thing. That'd be very, like, it'd be something that would work. Like, however you want to write that in. I mean, it's a fictional world. It's a thing that you can make believable, and it would make so much sense. Like, they had such a rivalry. Because I mean, I've always seen Electabuzz and Magmar have, like, it's almost like a rivalry between the two, and they're both awesome Pokemon. But their evolutions just fell flat in 4th gen. Like, they're awesome. I love their designs. They're awesome Pokemon. But for some reason, they're just not great. And I never understood that. I don't know if they just didn't give the stats right or what. And I guess 4th gen was kind of when they were first starting to really develop the competitive scene with kind of, they weren't even trying to develop the competitive scene. They were kind of really just developing, attacks and stats and like the special and physical split and everything like that. So that's where it kind of got off wrong. And I think if you just kind of just did a little different, but I think it'd be so cool, just ironically, just because I always see them as a pair. You have both of them and they switch, and that became one of those things like version exclusive Alolan Pokemon. You could obviously have one and the other. Obviously you have one version, one in this version, one in this version, so you could have Fire Electivire and Sun and Electric Magmortar and Moon. Like, it would just one of those things that makes so much sense. You have the two different ones, but they're a pair that goes together, and they're Alolan Mons. And it would just be so cool. I think this is just the type. And that one I thought of, like, I sat there and I looked at them like, man, these Mons, like, I looked at their names and I was like, oh man, that would be awesome Alolan forms. I'm like, they obviously need some help. And I'm like, what would you do with them? I'm like, wow, what if you put them together and you swap their type? Like, it came to me kind of like, that would make so much sense. Like, I've always seen them as like this pair together, so why not use that pairing and do something with it, like switch their type-ins? And I think it makes so much sense. So that the last Mon is Electivire and Magmortar, the same thing. And I think that's just an awesome thing. I think it'd be an awesome type-in. Now, as I do at the end of my videos, I always seem to have Pokemon that I wanted to put on this list that just didn't make it. And I'm gonna go over that real quick, and just to go over a few. So Staraptor is my first one. Then I had Gastrodon, Drifblim, Skuntank, Bronzong. I had 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pokemon, and there were actually, I think there were more, I just didn't write them down, but those are the 5 I had written down. I even had ideas kind of going for some of them. A couple of them I couldn't really think of, like, what could you do, but like Staraptor, like, I was like, Flying Fight, it makes so much sense for Staraptor. You got it's close combat, but it's not stab, and it's a great move. But then I thought, I kind of went against Staraptor, and like, Staraptor is still competitively viable as it is right now, so I'm like, you don't really need it. So, I mean, that's kind of where I left it at, but, I always like to do the honorable mention of the video, but either way, guys, I forgot to do my little disclaimer. If you disagree with any of these, comment down below. If you don't like my list, let me know what you would think down below. What Alolan forms from Sinnoh would you want to see in Sun and Moon? Like, granted, we don't know if they're even going to add any other generations but 1st gen, but I like doing these lists because I like speculating what they could do with some of the Mons and what it would be kind of cool. But either way, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, dislike it if you didn't like the video. Subscribe for more of these videos. I've got a lot of Pokemon content. I've got some other stuff coming. I got tons of stuff going on the channel. I just, gotta get the time to do it. But either way, guys, I'm gonna get it out of here. Before I do, remember, stay lucky.